Okay, let's talk about day one of our adventure.
We woke up super early and checked the weather. Originally, Friday was supposed to be pretty rainy in the morning. And we were worried that, we might get delayed. As we got closer and closer to Friday, the weather forecast looked better, and Caleb decided it was probably good to give it a shot.
Here we go.
So we loaded up and headed to the airport.
Full of fuel, full of people, full of baggage.
Yeah,
the plane was a little sluggish getting off the ground. Autopilot's engaged.
Right there. Hey guys, there's a ton of lakes here that we've never flown over. You should look out and see all of them.
Took off, headed west, and picked up flight following, and started to run into a line of mostly just rain.
Yep, you could see green and yellow on the radar and on the stethoscope. It wasn't too concerning, but we didn't quite know what we were going to be getting into as we went. So we just pushed on, and we ended up, in an effort to stay VFR, we ended up diverting quite a bit around some weather systems. Probably could have gone through it, but it's kind of hard to tell at the time how serious of it is. And the storms were, there were definitely calls for storms picking up and getting more intense throughout the day, and so we didn't want to kind of be in the makings of those thunderstorms, and so we just kind of skirted around it as much as we could, particularly as we got in the Chicago area. And then continued on west.
Yeah, it was pretty cloudy that first day, maybe a little cloudier than we expected, but we were able to stay VFR, really no problem at all. The only thing that kind of started to get a little tricky is when we stopped. Do you remember?
Mason City.
Yeah, Mason City, Iowa, and so
that was our first stop,
which was about 3 hours in. And it was, I don't want to call it dicey, but definitely lots of clouds, and so there was lots of maneuvering to get down. We were probably at 8,500 when we were trying to descend, and we stayed up higher to avoid the clouds.
I did a little bit of a spiral descent to get down without running into clouds.
Yeah, and we were able to sneak in before some IFR traffic. Definitely windy in Mason City.
Mason City Municipal Airport. Automated weather observation 1540 Zulu. Wind 320 at 11.
Okay, gas pump, undercarriage mixture, seatbelts. I'm just choosing 30 because closer to the FBO, I think.
You are such a show-off.
There's a restaurant at the airport, so we had a nice little lunch while we were there. Got a chance to stretch our legs. They filled up the fuel for us.
We wanted to press on, and while we were eating lunch, we should stop and say that we went ahead and made a hotel and a car reservation because we decided to just go ahead and shoot for Rapid City. We thought with the 3 hours we'd already done, we thought another 3 hours was probably good. And then the other thing about Rapid City is there's quite a bit of stuff to do. The Wall Drug and Wall, or you're relatively close to Mount Rushmore, and so we had a limited amount of time, but we knew we'd be able to pick something to do to kind of stretch our legs and see something cool when we stopped. So Rapid City it was.
So we pressed on from Mason, took off from Mason, again climbed up above through the clouds, and then pressed on kind of northwest to Rapid City. I'd say overall fairly uneventful flight. I think the most notable thing was we still had a lot of puffy clouds around us. We were dodging clouds here and there. We ended up going up to 10,500 to continue dodging clouds at one point.
Okay, so we're just off the Mason City, Iowa airport. We just had a nice lunch at the Mexican restaurant. Talked to a couple of private jet pilots. Had a good time there. Shared the hotshot arrow love, and got some good recommendations for places to go when we're in California. But 11 miles west of Mason City now, climbing. We're at VFR. We're going to back up to 8,500. It's a beautiful day out. A little bit of clouds kind of scattered down below us, but I think it's only going to improve as we continue going west. Not exactly sure what our Enroute time is yet since we're climbing, but in just under 3 hours, a little over 3 hours, something like that.
That's what Slow Flight was saying, yeah.
We're heading to Rapid City. I think that's where we're going to wrap up for the night. We went ahead and got a car and a hotel room. Even if we get in kind of early in the afternoon, that's still a good 6 hours plus of flying today. Give us a chance to relax a little bit, go do a few touristy things in the area, so I think that's good. That's a good first day for us. Yeah. Beautiful, can be hopefully not beautiful next couple hours.
I don't know, maybe 80 miles out from Rapid City, there were some things popping up on the scopes. I don't know if you call them storms, but cells or rain showers popping up on our radar that looked like they potentially could be a problem as we got closer. Approach and center kept reminding us over and over again about what they were seeing and what we were getting ourselves into. So you could tell by about the third or fourth time they were really concerned that we were flying into whatever that was that they were seeing. And we just said, hey, we're going to keep pressing on until we get closer, and then we'll take a look and we'll turn around if we have to, or we'll land somewhere else if we have to. But essentially, we never saw anything. We never ran into anything.
That's not a road, that's a river.
Why is it white?
Yeah, there's a road up there. It's called a white river.
But how is it white?
The water's white. It's a white river. I think it looks like a brown river, but it's a figure of speech.
You know, the Garmin in our plane is pretty tricked out, and so we were never super concerned. But also knowing that we had these hotel reservation and we had a reservation, we kind of like, now we're kind of
we definitely wanted to press on. We didn't want to give up, 60 miles away. We wouldn't have gone through that stuff if we had gotten close, but like we knew we could just turn around and go back the other way. And there were tons of other, there were other airports around we could have landed at as a potential other option. So I didn't feel too bad, even though they kept pushing on us to let us know what they saw on their scopes. I didn't feel too bad about continuing to press on until we got further and we could kind of see it for ourselves. And like I said, we never ran into any weather or any issues.
November 955 Charlie Tango, Elder the Birch. Good afternoon. Rapid landing runway 32, wind 300 at 10, gust 19er, altimeter 3010.
3010, landing 32, and do you have any PIREPs on the weather between us and the Rapid City?
955 Charlie Tango, negative. Haven't gotten any PIREPs, but it does look like there's light precipitation building up from about 7 miles east of the airport to about 20 miles east of the airport.
Okay, we're going to proceed closer and then we'll advise if we're going to do anything. 5 Charlie Tango.
Roger. November 955 Charlie Tango, flighting 260, maintain VFR vectors for sequence.
260, 5 Charlie Tango. Okay, autopilot off, yaw damper off. Gas undercarriage, mixture, props, and seatbelts.
You want to flap, or are you still too fast?
All too fast.
So ended up in Rapid City, got a car, got our...
we got the most ridiculous car we've ever had.
What was it, a Cadillac Escalade?
Yeah, but it was like 4 rows of seats.
It was a massive vehicle for sure.
Almost like a school bus instead of a car.
That's what you get sometimes. had a nice little hotel. We all had to share a room, but for one night we can do that. And
We
ultimately decided to go to Mount Rushmore.
Yep, which was pretty cool.
So I'd been before, but the other three had not. So went there and saw that and did a few things at the museum. And then by the time we drove there and drove back, we didn't have a whole lot of other time except to eat. So we ate and then called it a night.
Yep, and needed to plan for the next day because we hadn't really done a lot of pre-planning for like leg 2. So we needed to do that and then like turn in early. Luckily we'd been in Indiana for a few days and so we were on Eastern time, but kind of wanted to get up early.
And Rapid City is on mountain time, right? So we lost 2 time zones.
Yes.
So that was helpful for the sleep schedule.
But yeah, it made everybody go to sleep early, and then so we could get up early and get out of there.